Okay, I'm going to show you how I make my ATCs. If you are having problem finding the pre-made ATCs or artist trading cards in your store, you can use watercolor paper, scrap paper. I generally make my own using scrap paper, a ruler, and a rotary cutter. I used to be a quilter a long time ago, so I use the old dull blades for doing this. Artist trading cards are 2.5 by 3.5. Since this edge is torn, I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger than the 2.5 by 3.5. So again, 2.5 by 3.5. And you have a card. That's all there is to it. Before I get started drawing out the ATC, I wanted to show you some examples of some others that I've made. This is one out of graphite. This is out of watercolor, and the shirt's been collaged, and that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll do a watercolor face with the collage clothing. This one is collage. There's a napkin underneath the face, and then I used acrylic paint over top. And this is with Stabilo Oil pencil, gesso, and I forget the color, what I used on the top. Might have been pastels with a little bit of gesso. But let's get started. I'm going to do a front face, and I usually start with a circle. I'm going to start down a little lower, make room for the face, for the hair. I like to do big hair. Does not have to be a perfect circle. Then I draw a line down the center. This is where your nose is going to be. Zoom in a little bit. It's probably pretty light. So the nose will be right here. I then will draw a line from both sides of the face, angle down, and make the jawline. That line will probably change a little bit as we go. And then lower than halfway across the center of the circle, I will draw a line for the eyes. But I'm going to start with the nose. I always start with the nose so that it gives me the placement for the mouth and the eyes. I'm going to put the nostrils in, the U shape, and then the other nostril. And then I like to do the flare. Now for the mouth, leave room for the lip dip or Cupid's bow, whatever it's called. And in the center, top of the lip, I create a wide V. Angle out. Draw the line across the center. And I like to dip down a little bit in the center. And then the line underneath for the bottom lip. I'm going to move that chin down a little bit, create a little more room. I like more of a square jawline, so I'm going to put a line across there. Now for the eyes, for the center, inside part of the eye, I will go straight up from the outside of the nostril here. And create the eye shape. Put in the tear duct. Scoop under a little bit and up. Same thing on the other side. Bend over and down. Tear duct. Go under a little bit and up. And I can already tell that side's a little smaller. I'll get out my eraser. I highly recommend the Tombow Mono Eraser. It has a fine point on it, so it's great for working on small things like this. I'm going to clean up some of these lines off camera so you don't have to sit and watch me erase everything. A trick for measuring your eyes to make sure they're the same width. I take a straight edge, like say the edge of this, put it at the inside corner of one eye, my finger on the other side, and go across and measure. And it's off by just a little bit. Okay. Now I like to put in like a faint line for the shadow underneath the eye, the crease. For the eyebrows, I go straight up from the inside corner of the eye, straight up, in just a little bit. Make a dot, and then go up and over the brow bone. I do that on both sides, inside corner up, in just a little bit, up and over the brow bone. Okay, now for the outside of the face, between the outside of your eye and the brow bone, there's a little bit of a dip. So I will create a dip, curve around the cheekbone, and then down toward the chin. Again, dip, cheekbone, in, and down toward the chin. And I will never get both sides even. Once I draw them both, I decide which one I like the best. Try to get them both to match. And just draw the center of the eye. It's not a complete circle because your upper lid covers a big chunk of your eye. And I'll sketch in the center. Make sure both eyes are looking the same direction. Just give me some reference points. I think I'm going to make an elf. So I'm going to start at the outside corner of the eye, angle out. The bottom of the ears should come close to the bottom of the nose, around the same angle. So I take them up to a point, angle in, and around to the eye, around to the bottom. Let's change that a little bit. Angle in, out a little bit, and down. Anything goes for the elf ears. I don't know any elves, so I don't know what they truly should look like. Now for the hair. I think I'm going to put a little bit of a bang on her. Angle this up a little bit. I like to make my bangs curve down toward the middle and go up on the edges. I also like to give my girls big hair. So I think I'm going to give her, start from here and curl out. And for here, I'm going to give her kind of a long neck. The clothing, I think I'm going to do a button-up shirt on her. So I'm going to take it down in the center, make the line where the buttons would be. Put a tall collar on her. And then angle out for the shoulders. Hair doesn't look quite right to me. And too, that eye's throwing me off. And since her hair kind of looks like a bird's nest, I'm going to put a bird in her hair. Okay, I'm going to clean her up a little bit, grab my supplies, and we'll get started painting.